Thank you, Your Majesty. Mayor of London, Excellencies, distinguished guests and friends. Let's act today to save tomorrow.
King Charles's new statement sends shockwaves. What it means for SADIQ Khan. You're not going to believe what just happened. Because while everyone was busy arguing over polls, protests, and London politics, something far bigger and far more surprising happened at Buckingham Palace. This wasn't a rumor, it wasn't a leak, it wasn't one of those, sources say, political whispers. This came from the king himself. A moment, a message, a statement so unexpected that within minutes, journalists were scrambling, political analysts were rushing to studios, and social media lit up like fireworks. And the big question echoing across the country right now is simple. What does this mean for London's mayor, SADIQ Khan? Because whether you support him or not, what King Charles said has already reshaped the conversation. Let's break down exactly what happened and why so many are saying this is the most dramatic moment of the year. So here's where it begins. King Charles, speaking during a scheduled address on national unity and community cohesion, delivered a statement that caught absolutely everyone off guard. It wasn't aimed at any politician, it wasn't personal, it wasn't political. But the timing, the content, and the tone made people sit up. He said, "Leaders at every level must prioritize the harmony of our communities. Without unity, our nation cannot thrive." Strong words, calm delivery. A message that sounded neutral on the surface, but landed like a thunderbolt in the political arena. And instantly, journalists began asking the same question. Was this a subtle message directed at the rising tensions around London's leadership? To understand why this shook the political world, you need to understand the atmosphere right now. London has been facing rising tensions around public protests, debates on policing and public safety, cultural clashes in different communities, heated arguments between political parties over who's responsible. And SADIQ Khan, as London's mayor, is at the center of all of it, whether fairly or not. So when King Charles spoke about leadership, unity, and the responsibility of those in public office, commentators immediately connected the dots. One political analyst on Sky News said, "The king didn't name anyone, but the timing is unmistakable." Another wrote, "This is the strongest reminder from the monarchy about social unity we've heard in years." And within minutes, the conversation shifted from the king's statement to SADIQ Khan. The reactions have been explosive. On social media, one tweet that went viral read, "The king has spoken. Leaders better listen, especially in London." Another wrote, "This wasn't about politics. This was about responsibility. And everyone knows who carries that responsibility in the capital." Inside Parliament, the mood was just as intense. A Conservative MP said privately, "The king made a point without making it political. Very rare. And very powerful." A Labour MP responded, "People are reading too much into this. It wasn't aimed at SADIQ Khan, it was a general call for unity." But even that disagreement shows how divided the interpretation is. Reform UK supporters claimed the king's words validated their criticism of London's leadership. One Reform spokesperson posted, "When the king speaks about unity, he's speaking to those who've let London drift into division." Meanwhile, SADIQ Khan's allies insisted, "This is being twisted for political gain. The king was speaking to the whole country, not one city." But the narrative is moving fast, and it's moving in a direction that London's mayor cannot ignore. Here's the truth most people won't say out loud. When the king speaks, people listen differently, politicians debate, ministers argue, parties attack each other daily. But when the monarch steps forward calmly, gently, without direct accusation, the message carries a kind of weight that no political speech can match. And that's why today feels so historic. Not because King Charles targeted SADIQ Khan. Not because he issued a threat or a warning. But because his words have forced people to ask the question. Is London being led in a way that strengthens unity or weakens it? That question alone has set off a storm. So what does this mean for SADIQ Khan? 3 things. 1. The pressure just doubled. Every decision he makes now will be judged through the lens of national unity. Political opponents will use this moment. 2. Even if the king wasn't referring to him, they will frame it that way. They already have. And lastly, 3. The public conversation has shifted. And once a narrative shifts, it's very hard to pull it back. One journalist said on LBC, "This moment will shape London politics for months, maybe years." And that's the truth. Because even without naming a single politician, King Charles has changed the atmosphere. So here we are. A royal statement. A city under pressure. A wave of interpretation that has swept across the entire political landscape. And now the question on everyone's lips is, what will Sadiq Khan do next? Because the king's message was simple: unity matters. But the fallout? That's the part no one saw coming. And the real story may not be what the king said, but how the country reacted. And the question remains, if this is just the beginning, how much deeper does it go?